Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Zach Collins and this is Financial Education. For those of you that don't know me, what is my background? I was a financial advisor in my past, fully licensed, fully FISA compliant, specializing in super and non-super investments. I'm not licensed anymore, but I would love to get my license back one day. I left the industry as I couldn't stand the owner of the business. I've got no interest in sales. It's not all sales, but my passion is to help people not to sell various managed funds or insurance products. These days, I work in tax and compliance. This is going to be less of an education focused episode and more of a storytelling one. Not many people know why I'm focused on FIRE. Today I thought I'd tell a few stories and give you a bit more information around my background and how I got to where I'm at. For those that don't know what FIRE is, it stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. What it essentially means is I don't want to work until I'm age 60, 65, 67, 70, whatever. The sort of age that you normally see in these news articles about what age young people would expect to work to these days. My goal is to retire as early as possible. I'm trying to get my retirement age to around 40, but if I had to work to 45 or 50, I think that's still a bit better than another 10 years to get to 60, which is when you can access your super. So what is my goal? My goal is about as much as possible, but being realistic, as long as we have a paid off home, this is a big one, someone's mortgage or rent is the most expensive monthly cost you will incur. Having no home debt or no rent makes it so much easier to make ends meet, and it means you need less income coming in each month to cover your expenses. We bought this home for around about $550,000, coming up on just over a year ago. So it's significantly easier to pay off a $500,000 loan than it is to pay down $1 million or $2 million in debt. It also means I've got more options. If I was living in a property worth $2 million, it means if I have a $2 million net worth, the only asset I have is the house. Whereas with a $500,000 house and a $2 million net worth, it means I've still got the house plus $1.5 million invested in the market, either through stocks, through super, investment property, cash, whatever else I've got, and it's generating me a return. I can use that return to fund my lifestyle. If I just had the house, I'd still need to find money. I'd still need an income to pay for my lifestyle. The ASFA, which is the Association of Superannuation Funds of Australia, they release an income amount that they deem to be enough to either fund a comfortable or modest lifestyle. Currently, for a couple, that is around $70,000 to $75,000 a year. For my calculations, what we spend, assuming we have no debt and no childcare fees, would be able to enjoy an enjoyable, comfortable lifestyle on $50,000 to $60,000. This is what the ASFA deems to be a modest lifestyle, around 45 to 50K. Let's put that into perspective. The market as a whole generates a return each year of between 7 to 8%. Now, this does not consider inflation and does not consider the market fluctuations. The safe withdrawal rate, as advocated by everyone that follows FIRE, advocates for a withdrawal of 4% of your portfolio each year. This allows you to fund your lifestyle today and also leaves a little buffer. Assume that growth is 8% for your balance to continue growing over time, and hopefully allows you to keep up your withdrawals and living standards in line with inflation. I'm not going to factor tax into these calculations we're going to now, because honestly, tax is different based on how you structure it. If your only income is capital gains, if it's been held for over 12 months, you get a 50% discount. So $50,000 of gains only gets taxed as though it was 25K. If you own that assets jointly with a spouse or a partner, you split those gains again. So at 25K, you each get taxed on 12.5 of gains. And that's below the tax-free thresholds of 18.2K, meaning you won't pay any tax on that $50,000 of capital gains. So assuming no tax, if I were to take the recommended comfortable lifestyle of $75,000 and multiply this by 25, or you can divide it by 4%, that gives you the same result. This gives me the amount of money that I need invested in the market, either in stocks or bonds or property, whatever. It's the amount of money I need invested in order to generate $75,000 a year of income indefinitely. So that gives me $1.875 million. If I want the modest lifestyle, which is $45,000, it means I need $1.125 million invested in the stock market. If I want 60 grand, which is what my family would be sufficient for my family, that's $1.5 million. As you can see, if I have my house currently worth about 500 grand. It's fully paid off. I would be able to retire once I hit a net worth of about $2 million. Okay, so now you know what I need and what I'm aiming for. But why am I doing this? What is the whole point behind retiring early? My parents are also big skeptics of the retire early movement. My mother always talks about when you retire, it affects your brain, you get dementia, and it lowers your quality of life. From personal experience, I've only noticed that happens when people have no hobbies or no life outside of work. Both of my grandmothers, for example, never worked a day in their life. Well, I mean, they might have worked a little bit and had a little bit of income over time, but they never worked full time, and it's definitely not for over 40 years, which is your standard career. They were both mentally and physically healthy when they passed. What I've noticed anecdotally is that this is not medical advice, is that people that go from being an active worker to spending their whole day watching TV, they change their diet and they start eating more junk food and they gain weight. That is more likely to have issues than retirement. Retirement itself is not the issue, it's the impact on how you retire that makes the biggest impact on your standard of living. So, why do I want to retire? I actually really enjoy my job. But if I don't need money, I wouldn't be going to work. My passion is making these videos. My passion is cycling and running and triathlon. My passion is my family, my son. If I won the lotto, I would become a professional athlete, or at least treat myself like one, and I would train my body full time. I love working in the yard, planting little plants, watching my trees grow, and mowing the lawn as it gets too long. Of course, I can do all of this with a job, but without a job, it frees up 50 hours a week between commuting and working to pursue those hobbies. I wouldn't be spending it all day watching TV. It would be productive. At the same time, my son is currently 4 years old. You only get so much time with young kids. I would love to get more time with him, and I'd love to go take him out, go to the park, go for a run, bike ride, help him with his studies or homework when he's a bit older, all that sort of stuff. Obviously, there's only so many hours a day, and if I wasn't working, there'd be time to do all that stuff. As it is, it's all about compromise and sacrifice, and family comes first, which impacts my personal goals, but it is what it is. One day, once I'm retired, I'll be able to achieve everything. Now, everything I've talked about today is all personal. You obviously have your own goals in life. A lot of people have net worth or income goals, or their career aspirations, wanting to start their own business or be a CEO, whatever it might be. Before I finish off, I just want to tell you a story about this lady I used to work with. Now, she was a very cranky old lady. She thought she was, better than everyone, but the quality of her work was pretty crap. She would berate others for a mild spelling mistake, while at the same time, she'd make massive processing mistakes that had negative financial impacts on our clients. She could never recognize her wrongs, but she attacked everyone else. All around, she was a nasty person to work with. I gave her a little nickname at home. When I talked about her, she was known as the witch, because I'm not allowed to use the word that starts with a B. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, her father was wealthy. Well, not really. He was probably one of the examples I gave earlier about net worth. He had a house in Sydney worth, say, $2 to $3 million. The house was falling down. It was pretty crap, but it had land. He was also living on the age pension. Basically, his only asset was that crumbling house. Now, this lady I worked with, she was low socioeconomic. She was living paycheck to paycheck and was basically waiting on her father to die so she could inherit millions and retire. That was her plan when I knew her. Her father was in his 90s, so it seemed like his death was imminent. Now, the issue with her plan was she never factored in her own mortality. She could have, I think she was around 55 or 56 when she got cancer, brain cancer. Now, this is where the story gets a little bit morbid. So she was diagnosed with cancer in June, and she died with it in November, about 6 months. She spent her whole life living and working and waiting for someone else to die in order for her to meet her retirement goals, which never eventuated. So her death had an impact on my personal views. I've always wanted to retire early, but knowing that you never know when something is going to happen in life, it's really made me want to speed up that goal. As I said earlier, I like my job. It's great. But if I had the money, I would spend my time elsewhere. I don't want to work until I die, I want to enjoy my retirement because I never know when my time ends. I want to get that opportunity to live my life, spend as much time as I can with my family. That is why I'm so focused on early retirement, because I know not everyone gets that chance. Hopefully, I've been able to help you better understand my personal 5 goals and what I need to achieve in order to reach it. If you've got any more questions, please feel free to drop a comment below and I'll answer if I can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.